number one, this is one of those like non-crime focused breaking news. I think this one's interesting though. So update or breaking news number one is the CW network, Crime Nation. All right. And Crime Nation is the CW network's inaugural true crime and justice anthology series, aims to immerse viewers in the world of real-life mysteries, cold cases, and intense investigations. And they have a new episode about Delphi.
Mm-hmm. I watched it.
Yes, I knew you watched it. I haven't watched it. So essentially, I'll have you talk on it here. But it says in just one episode, the series will explore the tragic ending of young teens Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi, Indiana, on February 13th, 2017. Despite pleas from authorities, the case remains unsolved, fueling a divisive social media frenzy that continues to haunt the community 6 years later. And that's what I pulled off the internet. So what did you think about it in general without giving too much, right?
Yeah, without giving too many spoilers, I think there's some parts of it missing. Like, I think there's certain things I would have liked to have seen talked about more, but overall I was happy with it. I really liked seeing interviews from people who knew Abby and Libby that you don't typically see. You know, people that grew up with them, that kind of thing. Like, that's nice to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
People from the town who were, you know, kids at the time they were kids that share their experience and who Abby and Libby were to them.
Yeah. That's one thing we've highlighted, and especially just recently coming, you know, just on the other side of the anniversary, is the fact that this is one of those cases that is very easily at this point, you lose the focus of the victims that started all of this and that everyone's fighting for justice.
The court circus, and not to mention all the drama between so many people, which is it also highlights in this documentary. So much. I am not saying speculation is bad, okay? As a whole, like, I'm not putting it in a box and saying it's all bad, because, you know, Nancy Grace did a video on it, and she thought it was horrible that there was a lot of speculation going around about the case and that it hurts the case. But the thing is Nancy Grace speculates on her show all the time. And it could be, some of her speculations could potentially be very harmful to the defense of a defendant, especially if they're innocent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and I mean, we all want a fair trial here. We want justice for Abby and Libby. And I do feel like there were missteps in the investigation. And I think most people feel that way, actually. Yeah. Most people absolutely feel that way, whether you think Richard Allen is guilty or innocent. There were some missteps. Yeah. And there have even been officers themselves that have said they didn't know what they were doing. They started training after the crime. So, I mean, it's a good watch. I suggest anyone interested in the Delphi case, if you want to kind of go back to the beginning a little bit, they did focus in on one alternate suspect. I would have liked to, I mean, I guess there was some about others too that, you know, are big names in the case. But it's interesting. Yeah. It's really, really interesting. There was some stuff in there that I definitely want to dig deeper into and compare and contrast with other information. Because, you know, we felt like Bridge Guy all along was Ron Logan. We have felt that way. The stature of that man. You know, we saw
the knee injury.
Or
weird walk. I mean, I never got confirmation he had a knee injury, but whoever walked on the bridge, and then when we saw him walking, same knee, same give.
He walks the same way. And I mean, again, the stature, the hat, like, there's so many things. And, you know, in the FBI documents, his phone was pinging at home when all that went down.
Yeah.
His alibi never checked out.
Yeah.
It did not. Yeah. So he had the opportunity. Now, he is pretty old. So I think that it very likely he would have needed help. But I mean, I think there's definite questions with that video. I really wish they would have actually released a segment of it instead of this weird distorted part where the guy's super far away and then they literally put audio on top of it. Like that audio you hear is not from that part of the video that you're seeing visually. It's audio cut from a different part of the video and dubbed on top of a video where they took the audio off and it's just the guy walking, not talking.
Yeah.
So it's super confusing. Like, I don't know.
Maybe that's a way they do it to try to protect the integrity of an investigation. I don't know. I'm not sure. But
I've never, but you cannot tell me you've ever seen that kind of thing in another case. But also, it is a rarity that you have.
It was the FBI who put it out. So
it is rare you have a perpetrator caught on video from a victim, though.
Yeah, I think that whole scene is weird. And I wish that they would have clarified. However, I'm a firm believer that, you know, during an active investigation, I don't believe the public needs to know all of these details. So to put something a little bit confusing out there, there might be some kind of intention behind it that without being in that war room, you know, we won't know. So maybe there is a reason to it.
So I think their intention behind releasing that recording was to get the public's help identifying this person. If you want help identifying this person, why pick? I mean, we know that phone did not have that bad of camera quality, which I believe means that was super zoomed in. It was so pixelated and crappy because that guy was far away when they were taking that video. And isn't video quality a little worse than camera quality on phones usually? That too.
Not anymore, but it generally
in 2017.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and do some research. It's been some years now that phones have equally as good of cameras on them as most cameras.
Yeah. But I mean, I just think that they could have given a better part of the video. They could have not done the whole thing with the audio. Like they could have made it easier for the public to help, unless the intention was not to get the public's help and there was a different motive there, like you're saying.
Maybe. Well, I'm not saying
it's just not very helpful
motive in like a negative space like that. I'm saying that there might be an honest motive why they needed to put it out in that way, that they believed that would get the furthest fastest because of our short attention spans of only being able to watch, you know, 8 to 13 seconds on average per person per video, which is a real statistic. Maybe they smushed it together in that way to get it out the furthest they could. I don't know. I just have a hard time like condemning that when it's a really good thing to get that out to the public without knowing why, is all I'm saying.
Don't you think it's weird though? We have that video and it's like the worst video ever, and we have 2 perp sketches.
No, I don't think it's weird because again, I don't know why. That's assuming there's some kind of nefarious reasoning to that. And I don't know that. I do know, though, that there's no such thing as a perfect investigation, that there are always going to be flawed and or mistakes made in the investigation, completely human and normal. I know there's no such thing as a perfect crime. So I don't know. I just have a hard time. And I think the Delphi case is as shady as they come right now because of how it's being managed. That doesn't mean that that every step was a mistake or done in a negative space, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
So, but I'm curious what you guys think about it. If you've watched it, leave a comment below. I will probably comment on it on the True Crime Talk Show once I get a chance to watch it in the next few days. So it
was interesting. I liked it.
Yeah, let us know.